Hi, so good evening and welcome to one and all. A very warm welcome to all of you who have joined our session and our dignitaries who are on board. We also have Miss Twisha Goenka, an alumnus of our school and has been an IBDP student herself.
Thank you, Ms.
welcome.
Neha.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neha. And now a word about our group. We have a chain of preschools and high schools across Mumbai and Pune under the brand name of Springboards International, C.V. Goenka International, and Swami Vivekanand International School. The group started its journey 25 years ago and has had an impressive and inspiring alumni. The famous cricketers Rohit Sharma and Shardul Thakur, to name a few. Some of the programs that we offer in our schools are IBDP, A levels, IGCSE, ICSE, SSC, and HSC. Since we have multiple national and international boards across our schools, we're able to leverage the best practices from each. Additionally, we also offer an undergrad twinning program at EQ Global College. Here, we offer computing and management courses post grade 12. We are an accredited Edexcel Center and have tie-ups with Northumbria University, Ulster University, and the University of Roehampton. This allows a student to do the first 2 years with us in India and secure a guaranteed seat in one of these universities for the last year. And now, Ms. Neha, our IBDP coordinator, will be taking it forward.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the lovely introduction, Twisha. So taking it forward from here, CPJS Group, and especially at the Oshiwara campus, has been offering the IBDP program. We offer 13 subjects for the students to choose from. The program is for students who have just finished their grade 10. The DP program would be completing their high school years, that is up till grade 12. This gives them a blueprint to further develop a complete holistic approach towards their education. So I have a student of my own, Ms. Deena Hingorani. Ms. Deena has been the head girl of the CPJS Oshiwara and has also continued as my IBDP program student also. So, Deena, can we just have an informal chat with you about your experience of the DP program at CPJS Oshiwara?
Of course, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction.
Most welcome. So, Deena, could you please share with us that why did you choose to continue with CPJS Oshiwara?
I chose to continue with CPJS Oshiwara because of my familiarity with the teachers who have an in-depth knowledge of their subjects. They focus on the individual growth of a student alongside their academics. Our school has always had a very supportive, encouraging environment that helps me become a better person and gives me the opportunity to learn and grow every single day.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you so much. But what made you choose the DP program?
I've always been an above average student and I've excelled in arts, science, and commerce, which made it very difficult for me to pick just one stream. The IB program gave me the flexibility to continue to explore each stream and widen my knowledge of them so that I could take some more time and make a fully informed decision on what I wanted to do. As I say myself, I'm on a quest for knowledge, and the IBDP program helps me guide me along the way.
We will surely be there to guide you throughout the program. So, Deena, one last question for you. How did you feel that you just joined in the DP program and you had to join in the virtual classrooms? What has been your experience of this virtual schooling, and how have you? So, what have been your experiences in the classroom concerning your sciences and your arts and the regular subjects?
Overall, it's been a really fun experience and I've gotten to learn so much. We've gone on online field trips and visited museums from all around the world, which wouldn't be possible in actual school. We've had an experiential learning where the virtual platform has assisted us and given us more exposure than we would have thought possible. It's also certainly set in a routine that keeps me super productive every single day. This has enabled me to get an incredible amount of assignments and projects done. While we thought we weren't doing much in our classes, when I actually got down and made a presentation to present to my parents for the PTM, when I listed down every activity and assignment that I had done, I realized that we had covered a lot of topics, concepts, subjects. We had covered a numerous amount of things in very little time, and I surprised myself. Taking our learnings from this, I'm sure that when school begins in real life and it opens up, we will have equally technologically driven classrooms.
Yes,
Thank you.
so I'm here to confirm on that, yes, we will make your journey memorable, and we'll do our best to guide you throughout the program. So yes, we did get to understand from a student's perspective and her real-time experience of being in a virtual DP program at CPJS Oshiwara. So as students, they start to plan their future, choose, they have confusions to choose the right school, and it's often a tough choice to make. So we have Mr. Bhaumik. Mr. Bhaumik, who has been joining us from Jakarta right now live. So welcome, sir. Welcome on board.
Thank you. Thank you, all.
So
Thank you.
Just a short introduction to Mr. Bhaumik. Mr. Bhaumik, he is currently working as a secondary school and the DP coordinator at the Beacon Academy in Jakarta. He's an IBIN educator, an IBDP advisor, school visit team member for the Council of International Schools, team member on the IB authorization visits. Mr. Bhaumik comes with a lot of experience of more than 25 years. He's here bringing his passion, his vision, and so many years of experience to share with us. So over to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, all of you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to just share with you about the IB curriculum so that the parents of year 9 or year 10, they need to know what is the IB curriculum. And then I'll talk about what is the IB in India, how IB has progressed in India in last 20 decades. And then there will be any FAQ. Then if you have any question, then I can definitely try to address. Okay. So Ms. Neha, if you just start the presentation so that I can just start.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I can't see the presentation.
Okay, you can't see. Just give me a minute. Now, sir?
No, it's coming. It's coming.
Yes. Okay, sir. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Are you keeping the presentation mode or just like this? It's okay.
Sir, yes, I'll go on the presentation. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, as you know, I've seen the first slide. IB is having the 4 different curriculum. One is IB PIP program, one is IB middle year program, one IB diploma program, which you're going to talk today, and one is IB career related program. These are the 4 curriculum offered by IB from 1968 onwards. Okay, that's almost we completed 50 years. Since there are many schools, where approx 5,000 schools across the globe offering IB curriculum, so to manage the curriculum, the IB had decided to put all these schools into 3 different regions. So one region is Asia Pacific. The head office is in Singapore. All school come under Asia Pacific. Head office is Singapore, so we deal everything with the Singapore office. And another is Africa, Europe, and Middle East. And third is America. So all 5,000 plus schools are associated with either one of these 3 offices. And yes, next slide. Yeah, see, this is a little bit of history of IB. See, as I told you, there are 4 curriculum. PIP, primary year curriculum, this for the junior school, started in 1997. At the moment, 1,888 schools are authorized. MYP started in 1994. At the moment, 1,627 schools are authorized. DP, which we're going to talk today in detail, it started the first program in 1968. 2018, we have completed 50 years. At the moment, 3,599 schools are authorized. Out of 3,599, 146 schools are in India, and Out of 146, 39 schools fall under only Mumbai. If you just look at Mumbai is a big cohort to offer IB curriculum.
Yes.
And first school was Kodaikanal International School, started in IB in 1976. IBCP, the recent curriculum started in 2012, and at the moment 282 schools are authorized. When you talk about IBTP curriculum, it's a model like a student has to take 6 subjects from 6 different area. One is studies in language and literature. Second is language acquisition. Third is individual and society. Fourth is science. Fifth is maths. And the sixth is art. These are the 6 different area, and student has to choose at least one subject from each area. Apart from this, student has to do a DP core, which is not there, which I would like to talk in detail when I'll compare with other curriculum: theory of knowledge, extended essay, and creativity, activity, and service. Now I'll share with you what are the subject the CP Goenka offers, so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, as Miss Neha told you, there are 13 subjects. It's a very broad sub area the school is offering. If you just look at, the school is offering in group 1 in studies in language literature, English in the both the level, high level and standard level. In group 2, this is language acquisition. School offers Spanish ab initio and Hindi B. It means a school is given opportunity for a student to take a new subject, to learn a new subject, that is Spanish ab initio. This is for the beginners. Otherwise, they can continue with Hindi B. In group 3, actually, I could see there are many subjects offered by CP Goenka. It is economics, psychology, business management, global politics, and environmental science. These are subjects offered by CP Goenka school. Group 4, again, all 3 core sciences offered by CP Goenka, that is biology, chemistry, physics, computer science, and ESS. ESS is an interdisciplinary subject. That's the reason it's come in both the group, either in group 3 or group 4. It means a student is not very good in science, and one science is compulsory, so they can choose that ESS as a subject. In group 5, school offer maths, both the maths like maths A and maths AI. And in group 6, school offer visual art. If a student is not good in visual art, they can choose any other subject from other group. So that is the subject option offered by CP Goenka. And if you look at the grading system start with 1 to 7 scale. 7 is the highest grade and 1 is the lowest grade. A good score is always 5+. So as a school, as an educator, we always try the students should score 5 and above in their respective subject. So if there are 7 is the highest score and there are 6 subjects, the student can score maximum 42 points. But IB give score out of 45 because those additional 3 points come as a bonus point from theory of knowledge and extended essay, which is unique feature of IB, which is not available in some other curriculum, which we would like to discuss in the next slide. What is the advantage? Because the parents always ask question, what is the benefit of doing IB? The first thing, it is globally recognized. More than 200 countries recognize IB curriculum. So anywhere in the world now, any country, they recognize IB curriculum. So any university student would like to pursue their undergrad course, they can go. Rounded education, not stream-based. As I told you, it is a rounded education. It's not like a curriculum like I want to go for art stream, so I'll take only art subject, or I'm going to for the science stream, I can take only science subject. A student who would like to take engineering, still they have to take one humanities subject, and that is a compulsory. Yes, there are some provision is given to the Indian student that they can do all 3 sciences. I'll come back to you later on, ma'am. Can you just go back to the slide?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as I told you, it is a rounded education, not stream based. Means student has to do all 6 area, at least one subject, and develop those skills. For a special focus on sports and extracurricular activity, this is a mandatory part of IB curriculum, which is not there in other curriculum. That is called CAS, creativity, activity, and service. Student has to take involve themselves in those areas. If a student say, I'm very good in academics, I don't like any sports, then that student cannot do IB curriculum. Student has to show some understanding about the sports and extracurricular activity, and they need to show that okay how they are caring to the local and globally. Those are things come under CAS, and it's a very broad curriculum, and definitely school is working on it, and in some time they will definitely discuss with the student and the parents later on. What I want to give emphasis on this, because this is the difference makes with the other curriculum. Orientation toward research. As I know that when the student go to the university, they do PhD and they do the research and they write a thesis. We in IBDP curriculum also we do a smaller thesis and we call it the extended essay. So students do a research on a particular topic and do a research for 2 years and come up with a 4,000 word of essay and the product. So we train the student for undergraduate courses, which is again not available in other curriculum. Development towards critical thinking. Student has to think critically in each and every subject, and for that we have a subject called theory of knowledge. That is again make it unique, because these things are not available in any other curriculum at the moment. Yes, some curriculums are trying to adopt the theory of knowledge in their curriculum, but in IB it is happening from the last 30 years, and it's going on and keep on. IB is changing the structure and all based on the input given by the educator and the schools. So if I just say that, okay, these are 3 areas which is, see, curriculum is curriculum for any subject, either take CBSE or A-level or AP. But when I say why IB is different from others, I always say these are 3 areas where make IB different from others. That is CAS, extended essay, and TOK, which is not there in other curriculum directly, and students achieve points from these 3 areas. Yeah. Next, ma'am. Now I would like to talk something about the university, how IB has progressed and how university adopt the student in IB, and when we compare IB student with other student when they go for undergraduate course. 96% evidence has shown that they choose the courses when they are passionate about that. 95% is they're good in written English. Evidence of positive attitude is 91%. 90% evidence ability to think and work independently. This is very, very important. I will never do the spoon feeding. That is the reason a lot of students do a lot of research work in their particular subject area. Yes. Yeah, ma'am. Next. When you compare how the students better prepare to thrive at the university and successfully complete their degree, I have some student who's done now they are in the master degree. They told me, sir, because I have done in IB, I got a lot of understanding about what is thesis, how I'm going to do this. So it is easy for me to work it out. I could see that the students facing a problem to understand how to do the research, and I had got these ideas and all through my IB curriculum. So if you just look at it's 100% that students are ready to think and learn independently. That is the main ethos of IB, that each and every DP student, whether they are good in academics or not, but they think and work independently. Yeah, ma'am. Next. These are some statistics that, okay, I would like to go for the next one. This one. When you compare with A-level, diploma, and BTech, A-level is the Cambridge board, BTech is also from the UK board, and IB diploma. If you look at when these students go to the university, 97% students find it is better preparation as compared to A-level and BTech. Because always good university look at given an IB student advantage. This is an edge. Why this edge come? Because students think independently and they do a lot of research in their respective subject area. Yes, ma'am. Now, I would like to talk about something. What is IB in India? Till, see, IB started in 1976. Till 1983, it was very difficult to convince university in India that what is IB curriculum. Slowly, IB representative has interacted with the Association of Indian University, talking to them that what is IB curriculum. Slowly, they try to accept IB curriculum and all. In 2000 onwards, if I say that 2000 onwards, it's a very frequently that any student can join in any university. So, because in India they work on percentage. So what happens? The IB has come up with the percentile. So the 7th grade is coming at 96 to 100%. So any student getting 7, so IB convert those 7 into percentile for that particular subject and give to the Indian University. So Ms. Neha can share with you the later stage that what is the percent equivalent and all. Why I'm going to share it at the moment? Because some parents have a doubt. IB is given a grade in 1 to 7 scale in India, and Indian University work on the percentage. But IB has already come up in 2000 that okay, this is the percentile we are going to use for Indian University, and all the DP coordinator give this percentage along with the IB certificate when the student apply to the any Indian University. Yeah, next. If you just look at which are the Indian University IB students are there, I proudly say that okay, University of Mumbai and HR College were the first college and first university accepted IB student.
Yeah.
They recognized the IB program. Then slowly other universities have taken the path. If you just look at now in the graph, 43% student in India, they get admission through AIU. Then 28% student try for Mumbai University because Mumbai University accept IB student. And then Ashoka has come, all the private institute has come, they slowly accept the student and all. But yes, most of the university like Ashoka, you can say, then Delhi University, you can say, University of Pune, you can say, they put their own criteria for admission for IB student. Some universities say, okay, I'll accept IB student if they score 36 and above. It is depend upon the university and course to course. That can be discussed in the coordinators level in the later stage. But yes, I'll say any students are doing IB, they are well accepted by any Indian university, anywhere. There is no restriction at the moment. Next, ma'am. Now, when you compare where the IB student goes after finishing the diploma program, these are some top level universities. If you look at Indian student, you can see that 21% student after completing their IB, they stay in India. They try to study in India for in various Indian university. Then 19% student go for UCAS and they'll go for UK or Australia or Singapore. Then University of Mumbai is there. Then British Columbia is there. US, yes, US is still a large cohort where the student take. Nowadays, a lot of students are going to Singapore also. Yeah. So, what I would like to say that, okay, when you do IB curriculum, personally, I feel that, okay, it is not only going to give you grades, but also give you a platform where you can talk independently. If you're not talking in front of the audience, I will going to make you through the TOK. When they give the TOK presentation, you have to present in front of the audience. You have to do a lot of research work in each and every subject. So that makes the difference with other curriculum. Yes, there are still some question areas that, okay, how a student be accepted by the Indian University once they finish the IB curriculum. Yes, there is a catch. I'll just explain you. See, when a student join in IB curriculum, there are two kind of courses they can do. One is called diploma, another is called courses. Courses is for the students who are struggling in academics and they can't complete with the diploma program. So some like schools, there are schools they offer courses also because of those students, those who are struggling with the diploma program. What happened? Good university in India, they don't accept courses student. So if a student is doing IB diploma, IB program, I'll always suggest if you're planning to study in India after IB, so please register yourself for the diploma only, because some university in India, they don't accept courses student. Second is sciences. If you notice that in IB, you have to take at least one humanities subject. Then big question comes that, okay, my son or daughter wants to do medical in India. He has to do physics, chemistry, biology. How it is possible to do IB program with 6 subjects? Because English, maths and language are compulsory. Then other remaining 3 subjects are physics, chemistry and biology. Then what about the humanities, which is the mandatory? So IB has come up a solution for the Indian student only. that if any student would like to study in India, would like to do medical in India, they can do IB curriculum with 3 sciences, but only thing that Miss Neha has to send a email to IB to take a prior approval, and easily it's then be approved by IB. And as I said that, okay, students should do a lot of CAS activity. School organize various CAS activities. Personally, when I visited the school for the consultancy as a to see how the school is working and all, I was there's a assembly, and I can vouch that the way it is a student-led assembly, and the first time I can see normally what happens for the assembly in the back end, the teachers help. But what I observed for 1 hour that all student-led, and these are things IB gives. It shows that CP Goenka School is already adopt the IB philosophy before they start IB curriculum. When I spoke to the teachers body, or when I spoke to the student body, I could see the independence that, okay, they are taking the subject independently. The teachers had to do a lot of research. That is the main area where a student has to work independently, and teacher has to do a lot of research. It should not be teacher-centric class. It should be student-centric class. So that I have been observed, and that is the ethos of IB. Okay, it's if you have any query, then we can just start addressing. If you have, or Ms. Neha, if you have any question, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Twisha, if you can see some of the questions from the chat box, you can start with the question, and then I'll continue once I go through the chat boxes.
Right. All right. Just 1 second. Thank you so much for that very insightful session. I'm sure most of us got our answers, but I do see some questions in the chat box. So I think we will do this first. So for the first one, parents would like to know whether their children will be equipped to appear for all the competitive exams for Indian universities.
Can you just repeat the question again? Just a minute. Yeah.
Parents would like to know whether their children will be equipped to appear for all the competitive exams for Indian universities.
I'll tell you what is the problem with Indian universities and all, and Indian schools. Like when a student go for year 11 and 12, they hardly give time for the +2 examination. They focus on the entrance examination. So they join private coaching classes for their engineering courses and all, right? And it is very difficult for a student when they do IB to manage both. If you say, okay, can I do IB and go for the coaching classes also? I will say no. The reason is whatever is happening in that IB classes, that is going to map with your engineering entrance examination also. I have seen many students got IITs after finishing the IB without taking any gap year. It is up to the student how they're going to take the IB program. Yeah.
Is IBTP recognized in Indian junior colleges? And with your permission, sir, if I can share from my own experience, I'm currently pursuing a BMS degree in HR college. And being an ex-IB student myself, I personally did not face any issues with securing my admission. In fact, the core programs such as TOK and CAS really enabled me to become a critical thinker and objectively evaluate my opinions, which I think in the long run helped me with my further education. And I'm so sure sir would have a lot to say about that as well.
In India, anywhere you can get admission through IB. There is no restriction at the moment. Yes, there was a restriction, as I told you, till 2000. There are many universities not even aware which is IB curriculum. For example, Jammu Kashmir University is not aware of what is IB curriculum. Punjab University was not aware of IB curriculum. But now it is not, the situation is not like this. Now they know what is IB curriculum, what is the grading system. Only they are expecting that the grade has to be converted into percentage, which IB is already doing it. When a student will apply for Indian university, the IB coordinator has to send an email to IB to convert their grades into the percentage. And IB will send that one within a week. Within a week, they'll get the result in the percentile. And that you have to produce to the Indian universities.
Um, Also, ma'am, I think another recurring question is like, what sets IB apart when there are A levels and other like boards in comparison? So, what sets IB apart? Why should students choose IB over like say
Yeah.
A levels?
Okay. Should I answer?
Yes, sir. Please
Okay.
go ahead.
See, when you talk about A level and when you talk about IB, in A level you have to do only 5 subjects or 6 subjects. That's it. It's just only on academic. As I told you, IB is different from other curriculum. In A level, you don't have to do anything on community service and all. You don't have to do any theory of knowledge and all. Okay, you don't have to do any extended essay. You have to just do your subject, get the grades, and get to admission. Whereas in IB, the curriculum will teach you as a critical thinker. Curriculum will teach you how to do independent research. Curriculum will teach you how you need to connect with your local and global community to make a global citizen. We don't, IB courses not only give you the grades, plus give you some value-added education, make you a global citizen. So that is the difference between IB and A level. That is the reason slowly good universities are adopting IB as compared to A level. When there are 2 students and there will be one place is there to fill, and there's one from IB and one from A level, so definitely they give an edge to IB student.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a couple of questions here, sir. One is, how will the IB program benefit me? So I think you have already answered that, but if you want to add some more points, you could add over there, sir.
Pardon, the question is what?
The question is that how will the IB program benefit me?
Okay, see, as I told you, they'll make you a global citizen. Number one, that is the one area where it will benefit for any student that okay, you should know how to do independent thinking, critical thinking, what kind of various kind of research techniques you're going to use, which you're going to apply for the university actually, which we are going to train you in the IB curriculum itself. Okay, and IB is not a concept based; it's conceptual based. Like you do a lot of research. It is not a content based. Like there's a lot of applications are involved.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
If you say,
there's
Ma'am, I
another
think I see a recurring question. I think it's come 2 or 3 times. How can I get admission for the program in CP Goenka, and how do I get in touch for admissions?
Okay, so for that I want to answer. I'm sorry, sir. So so we welcome it. If you have the queries regarding the admissions, please contact the admission officer, Ms. Suman Sharma. The website links and the IDs will be posted on the chat box. So please keep an eye on the chat box. You could also take a one-to-one like appointment with us, and we could do a counseling related to the choice of the subjects and how to go ahead with the program with the student also. Yes, if that is, and there is one more question, that what all documents would I need for the admissions, and do you offer scholarships? Yes, we do offer scholarships for the students who are who show the spark. So we have scholarships for students who are scoring about 90%. Please feel free to contact the admission officer at CPJS Oshiwara, Ms. Suman Sharma. Like I said, the email ID and the website links will be shared on the chat box very soon. Yes. Do you want to take the next one, Twisha?
Yes, ma'am, for sure. How does the IB inculcate Indian context into subjects like history or English? As in the subjects that the IB offers, do they have like an Indian context?
Yes. See, things as I told you that in IB, English and history is offered, and there is no prescribed textbook for English. Teacher has to choose the novels, right? So teachers can choose novels on Indian context. Same way for history, there is no Indian history, but yes, Asia Pacific history they can choose, because there are either Roman history or American history or Asia Pacific history. So school can choose Asia Pacific history, which is little content of Indian history is also included in that.
Okay.
And as I said, that when the student do the research work, for example, in history, when they do their internal assessment, definitely they can choose on topic or on Indian context. Same way for when they do the written task and all for English, definitely they can choose on Indian context.
I'm seeing one more question that is coming up, that okay, if I'm not sure of the choices of the subject at the time of admissions, how will I make my choice for the subjects?
Okay, but I need to answer?
Yeah, or if you want me, like I can answer
Okay.
from the.
No, I thought you were asking. No, can you repeat the question?
So there's a question that I'm not sure of the choice of the subjects right now. How
Okay.
will I choose my subjects?
Okay. So actually, this is the DP coordinator, Miss Neha's role, and the college advisor role. So at least school already arranging those these two area that okay, the student and parent can meet to discuss okay what kind of career he or she wants to do. Based on that, they can choose the subject options. Actually, you need to do the subject from right from the year 9.
Right.
Yeah.
The choice on the subjects when you come for the like IB program at CPJ Oshiwara would be that we would first do one-to-one counseling with the student. We would also see and talk and have a long conversation about what is the liking of the student. So it's just not about how well you have scored, but what is the interest of your I mean, in which subject would you be like interested in? The best part of the IB is the fluidity of the choice of the subject. So the beauty of the program lies in what sir has just shared, that you can pick one subject from one group, which will give you a complete basket to choose from. There is no pressure for the child to choose the stream right after he or she has completed his grade 10, right? So you get at least 1 year further on to choose your subjects and your streams. So that would be the process for the choice of the subjects. Yes.
Yeah, I can give another examples. For example, because that is coming from the Indian mindset. Okay, I have two options. Either I want to do business management course or I can choose engineering. But I'm not yet decided what I'm going to do. Suppose
Right.
a student has a student can choose physics, chemistry, and business higher level. Okay. So once they'll finish the diploma program, they have the two options. Either they can go for engineering or they can go for the business management course. Because both the subjects are available there in their plane.
Okay. There is one more question, sir, that has come up, that could you please share some pros and cons of the IB curriculum, and can students take competitive exams conducted by UGC, NEET, G? Yes.
Okay. See, if I'll say that, okay, as I told you that when you compare with CBSE curriculum and IB curriculum, what happened with the most of the +2 student? Number one, they take a gap year to prepare for their entrance examination. Okay. Number two, they attach with some coaching center, either FITG or whatever. Okay. So that side by side, they study both and they give importance to the preparation for the entrance examination as compared to focus on their CBSE +2 subjects, right? They give focus only in year 12. So most of the time, 60 to 70% time they spend to prepare for the engineering or medical examination. But it is, if you say that can I do the same thing with IB curriculum, you cannot. The reason is it's a very from the day one you have to involve in the IB curriculum. Yes, what is the advantage? If you do the IB curriculum, if you look at the physics syllabus or chemistry syllabus or math syllabus, if you're able to complete this one, you're automatically able to appear for the entrance examination. I'm not saying they're going to prepare for that particular engineering college, but yes, they will give you in that depth knowledge that you can appear for the examination. Yes, a student has to do a hard work. I'm not saying that it's a very cakewalk that I do IB and immediately can get into IIT. It's not. The student has to do the hard work on that.
Certainly.
But yes,
So
if you say that I would like to do the coaching as well as IBTP, not possible. You're going to not give 100% effort, giving 100% time your IB, then you are not going to get very good grade in IB.
Yeah. The next question is that if somebody wants to pursue law, then how will IB program help?
Okay, there are two areas. If a student want to do the law, there are two things. Either they can do law in India or they can do law in outside India. Okay, international law. So if they want to do it, they can choose English as a higher level subject and one of the humanities subject, either business or psychology. Most of the law students, they take psychology, which CP Goenka is also offered. Both subjects should be in higher level. With these two subjects, you can get admission in Indian University. I have many students who have gone to law school in India with psychology higher level and English higher level.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions. So I'm just kind of trying to rush it up. I'm sorry.
I see one
Yes,
right
yes.
here. Can a student from another board, such as CBSE or ICSE, adopt the IB curriculum after the 10th?
Yes, easily. It is depend upon how the student going to pursue. I again repeat, IB is not a grade. Like if you are a very good student in CBSE or year 10, definitely you're going to do in year 12, year 11 and 12. Not at all. I have seen a student who got all 90% marks in CBSE and less than 24 points in IB. I have seen a student who got less than 60% marks in CBSE but got 38 and above points in IB. It is depend upon the student how we are going to take the IB curriculum. What happened? The gap between the CBSE and DP. So school do a orientation, 2 weeks of orientation, 3. They make the gap, minimize the gap between CBSE curriculum and IB. So definitely CP Goenka school also is having a same plan that okay, there are many schools that do that bridge program for 2 weeks or 3
Yes, sir,
weeks.
we do have the pre-IB program. Yes, we do run the
So
pre-IB
they'll
program.
try to, that is called pre-DP program. So for a CBSE student, it is not tough. When it will become tough, when you think that okay, it is a tough program.
Okay. The next question is it a must for a student to pass all the subjects to get a DP certificate? Yeah.
Yes. No, there is a pass and fail. There is some criteria. Let me just explain you. As I told you, there are 45 point. A student can get maximum 45 point. So passing criteria is 24. Student to get a diploma, he or she has to score 24 point. But apart from this, there are some other criteria also there, like for the theory of knowledge and extended essay. Student has to score D and above, either TOK or extended essay. If a student score E in any, either TOK or extended essay, even if the student score 42 point, they won't get the diploma. And same way for any subject, student should not score less than 3. 3 it is the minimum. Student has to score 3A.
Okay. So one personal question from my side, which comes to me from the students is like how much time can I take to change my subjects from a higher level to a standard level?
See, when you change a level from high level to standard level, that means you're going to change standard level to high level also, right?
Yes, sir.
Because suppose at the time of the admission you choose 3 high level and 3 standard level, and in meantime after year 11 you're finding difficulties to cope up with some certain subject. So you want to change high level to standard level. But if the moment you change any subject from high level to standard level, it means you have to upgrade one other subject to SL to HL. Yes. It is depend upon which subject we're going to do that. Yes. Okay. Normally what happens, we give 3 months time to change the level.
Yes.
Why? Because if a student change the level after a year, it's going to impact their admission in university, especially abroad. Because in outside Indian university, they don't look at your IB grades. They are going to look at your year 11 grades for the admission.
Okay, sure. There is one more question. Twisha, do you want to take that or should I ask her?
Yes, ma'am, I can take it.
Yeah.
Is Indian education system equipped for IB students' growth? And the new education system, which is going to be implemented by the government of India, going to affect the IB education system? I think they mean to ask whether the new education policy would really affect the IB education system as much as it would others.
as for my knowledge and understanding that the new education policy is not impact on the international curriculum. Okay, so its status remains same. They're still going to recognize IB curriculum, which is only affecting the the CBSE and ICC curriculum. In my understanding, because they have not touched on the international curriculum yet.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
Yeah. Please. Okay.
Yeah.
Just continue.
Can a CBSE student get admission for the IB program?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sir just answered that. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's been answered.
Yeah.
Also, I think there's a recurring question about the course rigor because there's a perception that IB is a lot more rigorous as compared to other high school diploma programs.
See, the thing is
So,
that I will give it the answer because it shows it's a very rigorous program. But if a student from the day one take the IB smartly and do the smart study, I don't think it is a tough program. Okay. Yes, you have to give a lot. See what happened in our mindset when it is 11 and 12. What happened in year 11? We don't give that much of importance. We focus on year 12, right? We give a lot of focus on year 12 so that because of my board year, I have to give much time. Whereas in IB, it's the other way. You have to give more time on year 11 so that you can enjoy in year 12. Because most of the good university, they give you admission based on your year 11 result, not on year 12 result. So it is not, it is a rigorous program, but how we are going to take it up, that is the reason correct subjects choice is very, very important. And the time management is very, very important. If you don't complete your work on time, even if it's small work, then it's very difficult to sustain an IB.
So just one personal question once again, which I, kind of have from the parents and from the students that if I don't want to do CAS, can I get away with it? And we know that CAS is compulsory. So
If,
could you just
yeah, you can get away, but you cannot do the diploma.
Yeah.
As I told you, the student can do IB course or IB diploma. If a student is registered as a diploma, student has to do the CAS activity. But the students who are doing the courses can leave the CAS, TUC or extended essay.
Great.
See, as I told you that IB not only make the student academically, but make it a global citizen. And to become a global citizen, students should know their role for local and global community.
Yeah, so I think we have just run out of time of our session. Yeah, it was a marathon run. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yes. I take the opportunity to thank you, Bhaumik sir, to spare such a valuable time of his from his tight schedule and to join us. Thank you, Ms. Twisha, for joining us. Thank you, Dina Hingorani, for joining us straight from your IBDP classroom to here. A special thanks to my audience, who has been with us since last 1 hour. I would just like to just close by saying that we look forward to hearing from all of you, and I would be glad to have a conversation, to have inquiry towards your admissions. And we welcome you all to our virtual classrooms for a better understanding of the IBGP program. So please feel free to contact the admission officer and take an appointment. And we also have a session on Monday for like an insight for A levels. Please feel free to join that session also. And I hope it's been a meaningful evening for all of us. And me, myself, surely goes back with a lot of insight. Thank you, sir. Thank you so very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.